My son-in-law's father threw my 8-year-old grandson into a wall, so I made a call. True story. The sound of my grandson's body hitting the wall is something I still hear every night. It happened during what was supposed to be an ordinary Sunday family dinner. One second, 8-year-old August was reaching for a glass of juice. The next, my son-in-law's father, Quentin, grabbed him by the collar, lifted him completely off the floor, and hurled him into the dining room wall. The drywall cracked. August slid to the floor without making a sound. His grandmother calmly cut another piece of chicken and said, "Good, maybe now he'll learn." No one moved. Not my son Tobias, not Quentin's daughter, Marigold, only me. I quietly stood, excused myself, and walked toward the kitchen. They thought I was an old retired man with aching knees, a tiny pension, and nothing but stories from the past. They were wrong. My name is Wendell Coffey. I'm 68 years old. Before retirement, I spent over 3 decades as a federal forensic investigator helping expose financial criminals who believed they were untouchable. The greatest lesson my career taught me was simple. Powerful people become careless when they think nobody can stop them. Inside the pantry, I locked the door and made one phone call. Major crimes. This is Wendell Coffey. I need police and paramedics immediately. An 8-year-old child has just been violently assaulted inside this home. The officer recognized my voice instantly. "We're coming." I returned to the table as though nothing had happened. Quentin was laughing again, drinking bourbon, acting like nothing had occurred. August sat silently, trembling while forcing himself to eat vegetables. His tiny hands shook so badly he dropped his fork twice. I secretly started recording everything. Exactly 17 minutes later, flashing blue lights flooded the front windows. 3 state troopers entered with paramedics. Quentin exploded. "You can't come into my house." The lead detective ignored him and walked directly toward me. "Mr. Coffey, are you the reporting witness?" "I am." I pointed toward the damaged wall. "I watched that man throw my grandson into it." The room became painfully quiet. Quentin laughed nervously. "He's just some bitter old accountant." The detective looked directly into Quentin's eyes. "No, he's the investigator who trained half the fraud division in this state. When he reports a felony, we listen." For the first time that evening, Quentin looked afraid. Paramedics examined August. One of them frowned. "This child needs immediate hospital imaging." Marigold protested. "He's fine." The medic shook his head. "No, he isn't." At the hospital, doctors discovered a small fracture near August's upper neck. Another inch. That was all. One more inch of force and my grandson could have spent the rest of his life paralyzed. Tobias collapsed into a chair and buried his face in his hands. I should have protected him. I placed my hand on his shoulder. "Then start now." That night, he chose his son over everyone else. Emergency custody papers were filed before sunrise. While August recovered at my house, I noticed something that disturbed me even more than the injury. Every loud noise made him flinch. Every raised voice made him freeze. Children don't learn fear overnight. Someone had been teaching him for years. I contacted an old colleague who specialized in financial investigations. "Look into Quentin's dealership." 3 days later, my phone rang. "You were right," my friend whispered. Hidden companies, fake vehicle titles, millions in undeclared income, insurance fraud, tax fraud, money laundering. The abuse inside his home wasn't the only crime Quentin had been hiding. Evidence quickly reached the proper authorities. Within weeks, investigators raided every dealership he owned. Customers, employees, and accountants were interviewed. Computers and financial records disappeared into evidence boxes. His empire began collapsing one piece at a time. Meanwhile, prosecutors built the assault case. My video showed everything. The cracked wall remained untouched. Medical scans confirmed August's injuries. Neighbors admitted hearing screaming for years. Former employees described Quentin as a violent bully who believed money made him untouchable. During the trial, Quentin insisted everyone was lying. Then prosecutors played my recording. The courtroom became completely silent. The jury watched him grab a terrified child. They watched August hit the wall. They watched every adult remain seated. No lawyer could explain that away. After barely 2 hours of deliberation, the verdict came back. Guilty. The judge stared at Quentin before announcing the sentence. A man who terrorizes a child inside what should be the safest place in his life deserves neither sympathy nor excuses. He was led away in handcuffs. Outside the courthouse, reporters surrounded us. I answered only one question. Why did you get involved? I looked toward August, who was holding Tobias's hand for the first time in years without fear. Because children don't get to choose the adults around them. Adults choose whether to protect children. Months later, Marigold appeared at my front door in tears. She admitted she'd spent her entire life terrified of her father and had mistaken obedience for love. I believed she regretted it, but regret doesn't erase broken bones. I told her forgiveness would have to be earned through actions, not apologies. Today, August is 10. He laughs again. He fishes with me every Saturday morning. The nightmares have almost disappeared. Sometimes people still underestimate me when they see my old Buick or my quiet voice. I let them. Appearances don't reveal character. Actions do. That night I didn't save my grandson because I was once a federal investigator. I saved him because I refused to look away when everyone else did. Sometimes justice begins with nothing more than one frightened child and one phone call.